Good morning. So we are on the first week of the 2022 Pantry Challenge, and I just kind of wanted to recap how it's going for us so far. So let's see. It started Saturday, and then of course Saturday we had the pozole because it's just a tradition that we do on New Year's Day. And I believe we ate on it a little more on Sunday, but we have definitely been using up things that are in our pantry. We have not gone to the grocery store at all, and I think it's going great. I'm very pleased with how it's going. I've tried to even make it a point to not get into like our storage shelves, like where I have all of my canned things that I've canned, because I would like to save those for summer just because our days are so long when we're not working, because we both still work full-time jobs. You know, we're outside, and sometimes we're outside till 9 o'clock at night, you know, when you can't see anymore, and it's just nice to have those quick meals. And I think, you know, sometimes we resort to those because we have such busy schedules anyway. But I've been working really hard at not messing with like the stuff that I've canned. I'm trying to concentrate on the freezers, especially because I found a lot of stuff I didn't even know we had, and I don't want it to get freezer burned. So, and it's not freezer burned yet, so I don't want it to get to that point. So we've been making meals off of our freezers, and then of course some of the stuff that we have, like box foods that we had, that I don't know why we have them, but I know that when he cooks, a lot of times he'll just do like the box foods, which I don't really care too much for. But he did make, what is it called, a pastaroni? But we had some scallops in the freezer that I didn't even know we had, and he mixed those in with the pastaroni. That was actually really good. I was kind of impressed with that. So we are on week one of the 2022 Pantry Challenge, and I think it's going great. We are going to have to go to the store probably within the next couple days to get milk, but that's it. Other than that, we don't need to get anything. And I think that how would I say? I think that I've really kind of had an eye-opening as far as what we really have. I don't know why I always think that, you know, we don't really have a lot of food when we really actually had a lot of food. I mean, I knew we had a lot of meat, but really organizing it and going through it and seeing exactly what we had, I realized exactly how much we do have. So that really set my mind at ease. Honestly, I think we could probably go longer than 2 months, but we're only going to do the 2 months, and see how it goes from there. But I do want to give you guys weekly updates on how we're doing on this end. There is only 2 of us here, so it is a lot easier for us. But like I said, the one at Three Rivers Homestead, she has a family, I believe, of 9 total. And they do it every year. And it's, you know, out of things that they grow out of their garden. And, you know, of course, they process their meat and stuff like that. So they are a dairy-free family because of food allergies, I believe. But they do this every year. And I am... Like I said, we're only on week 1, and I know we have, 7 more weeks to go, but I am completely impressed with this so far. I'm very pleased with it. So if you guys are doing this Pantry Challenge, I really hope you continue to do it. Don't get discouraged. I will be posting once a week because I do have a full-time job. It is very hard for me to post during the week. And I'm not going to lie, I look like total crap during the week because I do work from home. So I'm a sweats and t-shirt person during the week. So when I know I'm going to be filming, I actually, you know, try to look at least somewhat presentable. So, but anyway, I will be posting once a week and telling you kind of guys how we're doing on our end of the Pantry Challenge and what week we're on. And then after each one, then I will go ahead and make something that, you know, we make so that we can kind of give you guys a recipe and give you some ideas. So anyway, that's how we're doing. So now that I've kind of gone over how we're doing in the Pantry Challenge, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make a no-fail Amish bread. And what I like to do when I find new recipes is I like to try it first before you know, I present it to anybody, because I want to see how well it works, how well it tastes, because I don't want to give you guys anything that's hard to make or just doesn't taste very good. But I've actually found this recipe on Pinterest, and I looked at several different ones, and they all seem the same. So unfortunately, I don't know who the originator of it is, and I do apologize for that. I wish I could give them credit for an amazing recipe. But it is called a no-fail Amish bread. It is super easy to make, and it is fabulous. I absolutely love it. So we're going to get started. I'm going to show you how to do the Amish bread, and hope you guys enjoy it as well. Okay, so I've got my KitchenAid mixer here, and I've kind of gotten the ingredients together just so that it makes it a lot quicker and easier. So the first thing that we're going to do, and I actually got it written down here. I've made this a couple times, and I am very impressed with it. It's super easy. Like, I am so impressed with this and absolutely love it. So you want to have 1 cup of water with 1 cup of milk, and I use my 2-cup container. And you want them heated to between 100 and 110 degrees. This one I've got at, because I warmed it up right before I actually started this, so I got it a little bit warm. We're right at 100 degrees. So we'll pour this in here. And then you're going to do 2/3 cup of sugar. We're just going to stir this around for a second. To lock it down. Stir that around a little bit. Okay, next you're going to pour in 1.5 tablespoons of active yeast. Now, I do buy the large bags of yeast. I know not everybody uses that, so we're going to mix this in real quick. And you're just going to let that sit for 5 minutes. So I got the timer going here. Now, if you don't buy the bags of the active yeast and you buy those little packets, I looked up, you know, what comes in those little packets and how much it would be. So if you're using the little packets, it's actually going to be about 2.5 of those little packets to equal 1.5 tablespoons of the active yeast. So you're going to let this sit for about 5 minutes until it is like frothy, bubbly, and that's what you're going to be looking for. So we're going to let that sit. Like I said, I've got my timer going, and when the timer goes off, we'll come back and I will show you what to do from there. Okay, the 5 minutes is up, but I wanted to show you what it would look like. I actually let it go 7 minutes. My kitchen's kind of cool today, so it didn't proof as fast, but I'm going to kind of tilt you in here so that you can see how bubbly it is. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and finish off the recipe here. Okay, I guess it wasn't recording, so I'm really sorry about that. So what I did is I put in 1 cup of flour, and I put 1.5 teaspoons of salt and 1/4 cup of oil or soft butter. You can use olive oil, vegetable oil. We don't use butter. I make ghee, so that's what I put in there because ghee is really soft anyway. But that's 1/4 cup. If you do melt your butter, just make sure it's not over 100 degrees. You know, let it cool off just a little bit. I apologize it was not recording, but anyway, so I did that. The 1 cup of flour, 1/4 cup of oil, and 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and I mix that in there. This does call for bread flour. I'll probably try making it with regular flour at some point, just to, you know, like an all-purpose flour, just to see what it does. But I am using bread flour today. So I've already got 1 cup in there. You're going to be doing a total of 5 to 5.5 cups. It depends on your area. You may use a little more, you may use a little less. But I will show you exactly what it's supposed to look like. Now, because I do buy my flour in such large quantities, I keep it in 5-gallon buckets, so I have my bucket down here. So this is going to be 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to go ahead and get the 5th, but I'm not going to put it in there. You may have to scrape down the sides just a little bit. Okay, so yes, it is going to need a little more flour. It's super sticky. So I'm just going to sprinkle some of this in here. And what you're looking for is you're wanting to put in just enough flour until it pulls, the dough pulls away from the sides. So the sides of your bowl should be clean, basically. Okay, I'm still at the 5 cups. I haven't gone over 5 yet. Okay, that's 5 right now. So we'll see if I need to add any more. Or if it's going to pull away from the sides. Okay, it's pulling away from the sides, but it's still sticking to the bottom. So, I'm going to get about a 1/2 cup here. But what the recipe says to do is when you get past the 5, you just want to add like a spoonful at a time because you don't want too much flour. That's actually looking pretty good. I'm just going to add just a tiny bit more, just because it's a little bit sticky to the bottom of the bowl. But I don't think I'm going to need more than that. So I did what? 5 cups and 3 spoonfuls for the, basically the heat and humidity and stuff in my kitchen. And I will show you what the inside of my bowl looks like so that you can see what yours should look like. And it's actually, now that it's going a little longer, it is starting to stick. So I'm going to do 1 more spoonful. Now if you're doing this with a KitchenAid or a stand mixer, depending on what brand you have, after it pulls away from the sides, you want to let it knead for another 5 minutes. Now if you're doing this by hand, after your dough is not sticky and it's like elastic, then you'll want to just continue to knead it by hand for about another 10 minutes. Okay, yeah, see, that's beautiful. That's not sticking to the bottom at all. And I have to kind of like put my arm over mine because my KitchenAid is like used and abused and it bounces. And I've watched a bunch of videos. I've even called KitchenAid and we cannot seem to get it from bouncing. So I just hold it down. Okay, so I'm going to let this knead for about 5 minutes. And it looks absolutely great. Like my bowl is clean. This recipe is like crazy easy. I absolutely love it. So I'm gonna let this go for about 5 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and actually turn it off just so you can hear me. But I'm gonna let this knead for about 5 minutes, and then when we come back, I will show you what the bowl looks like and kind of how the elasticity of the dough is. Okay, thanks. See you in a minute. Okay, so this was kneading for 5 minutes, but before I pull it off of the dough hook, I wanted to show you what the bowl looked like. So, see the bowl is really, like it cleaned all the sides of the bowl off. So that's what you're looking for. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get this dough pulled off of the hook. Okay, let's get this off the hook here. And it should pull out of your bowl really easy. Okay, so I'm going to actually sprinkle just a real light dusting of flour. Let me move you down a little so you can see. Okay. And just kind of work it just a little bit into a ball. That's it. You don't have to do all this fancy folding and all that. You're just going to work it into a ball. But when I say elastic, like, see how it like goes right back? But it's not dry. It's not sticky. It's just like, I don't know if I compare it to Play-Doh maybe. So you're going to take your ball and you're going to get a bowl, oil the bowl, and you're going to put this in, spin it, and then flip it. That way the top part is oiled now and the bottom, you know, is now sitting in the oil. And now you're going to take a towel and just cover it. You're going to let it sit for 1 hour until it doubles in size. So if it doubles in size before the hour, then it's ready. It just depends on how hot your kitchen is. But it should, the hour is the average of how long it takes. But so it's when it doubles in size or 1 hour, whichever comes first. Okay? And so most kitchens aren't so cold that it takes longer than an hour. Now if your kitchen's super cold, it may. One of the tricks you can do if your kitchen is really cold, take your towel and get it a little bit wet, but wring all of the water out completely and put it in the microwave to warm it up just a little bit. And then cover it, so you're covering it with a warm towel. But it'll double in size, so we'll be back in an hour and we'll see what this looks like. Okay, so it's been an hour. Ooh, that looks nice. Find my cutter, but I don't see it, so it must be in the dishwasher. It's okay, we'll make do without it. How pretty, pretty, pretty. So this does make 2 loaves. I just need to cut it. But it looks like I have everything in the dishwasher today. This is awesome. Yeah, I'll use a bread knife. That'll work. So you want to cut it in half. This isn't normally what I use to cut it, but... Alright, so now what you're going to do from here, just kind of roll it out into like a loaf shape. You just want to form it. Make sure you tuck your ends in. pour them into the loaf pan. And all I'm doing is just kind of shaping it, not necessarily kneading or anything like that. I'm just shaping it into the loaf. Once I put it in the pan, I do kind of just tuck down the sides a little. No, it looks like my battery's actually about to die. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let these sit here with the towel over them for 30 minutes while my oven preheats. I'm going to preheat the oven to 350 and we'll be back when we're ready to put these in the oven because these have to sit for 30 minutes now. Okay, these have been rising for 30 minutes. Let's see what they look like. Ooh, very pretty. So this one has a little indentation from my thumb in it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to brush the tops of these real light with just some butter or ghee. If you're going to use regular butter, you might want to just soften it so that it doesn't make marks in your dough. But ghee usually stays pretty spreadable. So I just brush that over the tops of those. Now I'm going to put them in the oven at 350 for 30 minutes. Put your rack on the center of your oven and, like I said, bake for 30 minutes at 350 and we'll be back when they are finished. Okay, so the 30 minutes is up. I just pulled these out of the oven. And I don't know if you can hear it, but it makes a hollow sound. And that's how you know that it's done. I'm actually going to let these sit for a little bit before I try to pull them out. I'll let them sit for probably about 15-20 minutes or so, and then I'll pop them out and let them finish cooling on the racks. This bread freezes really well. I usually just wrap it in butcher paper or parchment paper really well and get it wrapped up and then freeze it. So it does freeze really well. I really like this recipe. Again, it's called No Fail Amish Bread. If you guys are, get the chance to make it, please let me know what you thought about it and if you liked it or not. And then I will do another video next week because it will be on week 2 of the Pantry Challenge at that point and let you know how we're going, and we'll do another recipe of something else, next week. But thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate everything. I appreciate all of the wonderful comments that I've gotten and all of the subscribers. I know a lot of my subscribers from my old channel didn't transfer over, which is sad, but hopefully they'll be able to find us on our new channel. So thank you so much. Remember, every day is a new beginning, and you guys stay blessed.